When I reviewed Gone Home on PC back in 2013, I scored it a 9.5, calling it a remarkably gorgeous first-person adventure that tells one of the strongest stories I've ever experienced in games. 2.5 years later, it's finally come to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and I'm happy to say it's every bit as impactful. Throughout this first-person exploratory adventure game, you'll poke around a beautifully created house and examine the artifacts that populate each well-designed room. Everywhere you look, the house has a warm, lived-in feel. A study is filled with interesting books to browse, records to listen to, and liquor cabinets to raid. The kitchen is as wonderfully disorganized as my mom's, and the bedroom of an angsty teenager feels like the bedroom of an angsty teenager. It oftentimes felt as if I'd broken into a museum in the middle of the night with the goal of touching the very things that I was told not to touch. Games like The Last of Us and BioShock allow us to explore exceptionally realized worlds, but Gone Home's world feels just straight up real. Each time I clicked on an item owned by a family member and studied its various traits, like empty liquor bottles belonging to a father who may or may not drink too much, or a sarcastically written term paper on the female reproductive system that highlights a young woman's sharp wit, I was brought back to the uncountable innocuous knickknacks that populate my own parents' house, and thought about what those would say about them as people. Adding to that, the writing and voice work here are among the best I've ever experienced in games. It's not stylish or exaggerated, but rather painfully real. Unraveling the story of your character's teenage sister Samantha's coming of age, the complicated intricacies of their parents' marriage, and eventually the reasons why you left home in the first place make Gone Home a powerful piece of storytelling. I'm being a bit vague for a reason, because so much of the emotional impact I felt stemmed from discovering these bits of backstory and piecing them together myself. Despite never physically interacting with another character, the cast of Gone Home is as real and three-dimensional as any I've experienced in video games. Despite an ever-present sense of dread, lights flicker sporadically, a fierce thunderstorm rages outside, and the house itself seems to moan at times, there's nothing to fear in Gone Home, except for the palpable tension and uncertainty about the family's fate. Gone Home presents us with a game that both embraces the melancholic notion of never being able to go home again, while simultaneously exploring the roots, secrets, and artifacts of a family that feels just as real to me as my own. Stepping inside this family's home and getting to know them by discovering the things they left behind is a powerful experience, and that makes Gone Home a remarkable achievement that will stick with me forever. For more on Gone Home, keep exploring IGN.